Yo, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Captain Simon Perriman here. This is Discovery Scouts and Pirates of the Caribbean film series here. Um, today's the day is during the Today's the day is about Wrestlemania 38. Today is Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. Today. Um, so next Saturday about and so Sunday will be the Easter. We'll be eating about for the cafeterias and buffets, and as long as you wanted to, can afford, long as you can, unfortunately. And I just wanted to make sure to want you to know about your punch to buy the tickets, and as long as you can about indefinitely, which you wanted to say we just want you to be sure to take pictures and videotapes without recording from the lungs. Just be sure wanted to be respectful to even the 75, every about 70,000 people, the gatherings together, the dues about COVID-19 pandemic. The booster starts are available from now. For the last one is the second booster shot should be about COVID-19 pandemic. The vaccine half of the war engaged with the war wars against the virus, and Governor Jay Inslee just lifted for the mask mandates at houses of worship, at church, restaurants, bars, and buffets, and including malls and stores and schools and child cares, and mostly included for next month. It's also about including you if you wanted to the mask mandates. It starts at about April 30th during the end of this month. So let's check up to see that we're doing the Hunter Call of the Wild. So we just wanted to talk to you about COTW, the Hunter, COTW, Call of the Wild. So let's go to the theme today about real live streaming issues. It's used about replacing to the summer and winter, and includes itself in the newest map about for the 4 months. So that'll be spring and fall for 6 months, due to about April to October. Thank you very much for coming in, guys. So let's see, we did talk to the DD33 Flinters, the Lone Gamers, Scarecrows, Ramen Tubes, Lady Leckers XOs, there were special roles, or surely Jesters, just all of them the same. And don't forget to talk to the Jackson Beard, and mostly about Risky here for Zaggy DK. Thank you very much for coming in for listener perspective. Alright, so we're just gonna have to talk to you about her opponents to Ronda Rousey, to the baddest woman on the planet, from former UFC stars, for former one-time Women's Bantamweight Championship, for Ultimate Fighter Championship. The UFC President Dana White was mentioned for about Charlotte's opponent and Charlotte Flair's the opportunity, and the Queen was living in the Queen City at Charlotte, North Carolina. I do want to tell you guys about her training for her friend Shayna Baszler's once at about 2 horsewomen left. It's a good to be processed about Smackdown's opponents, and real opportunistic in all times, which is about level 6, very hard. Sasha Banks and Bailey, level 7, very hard. Level 8, mythical, and level 9, hard, legendary for Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair's. Even the Charlotte lose to the title ranks to 4-time Grand Slam championships. As long as it's used about the Ronda's opponents, is used about coordinated about for the next Friday. Um, we don't know. We just wanted to say Ronda wins would be about the new SmackDown Women's Championships. As a notice that she gets pinned or not, is pinned again or not, she get disappointed again, or she can make it kicked out. She can make it kicked out the move by the referee for the those night during the night one on Wrestlemania 38. So which is her great appointment to for Ronda's appointed to for mentions about 7 years ago. And it closed itself for the SummerSlam for the class of 2008 2014. She was in at USC's and opponent stars as team up for Rousey were facing against Tate and Misha Tate. And she was the study that does the programming, also the new by whole mixed martial arts women's divisions is usually about Paige Vance's doesn't mention Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm, Beth Correal, but Conor McGregor's and Dana White, and eventually is gold medalist, the actor from the former professional wrestler as an American in 20 years. Since he did about real opportunistic his dues about Ronda's new hair there for respective to Kurt Angle as the gold medalist as the armbars becomes the armbar Angle slams. It does seem really care for about the Kurt Angle seems about respective for about the gold medalist. Ronda seems to be disrespects the Roddy Piper for Canadian professional wrestlers for the couple more years later, since we doing about her friend opponents as used about for the benefit, as it's been about the personal life informations and issues. Even though the Roddy Piper's disrespects for WWE legends and those stars and Raw and SmackDown and NXT and ECW and WCW and even Kurt One's confession to respect to Ronda Rousey, where she did it about when she was coming into this arena for the first time, and so I feel like to be noticed about curious things about just having to go. So even though 2 years and 10 months, almost 3 years since about after the Ronda lost to the Becky Lynch as in the main event, the triple threat as the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, as the Becky belt, as the two belts, as the Becky belts. So they can only have one championship left for Bayley's as one for the title rings as the SmackDown Women's Championship for first time and second time. And even lots of the people could be loving to be beloved this. Before I'm truly grateful to it for about her likes to be about Kurt Angle or Roddy Piper, and includes itself even about the blessings the Ric Flairs and Bret Hart and Kurt, and definitely The Rock and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and her opponents friends of Shayna Baszler's, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shaffer as mixed martial arts and Ultimate Fighter championships. Indeed, the kinds she was at the three winning scores as MNTR records as on the beach and Pacific Oceans. I just felt like to be my mentions of my brother, sister, my mom and dad doesn't mention of my her baddest woman on the planet. She was facing against the Queen in the opportunity, Charlotte Flair, for 10 years later. She was been kind of like to about figure eight leg lock or armbar, also known as angle lock, angle lock, armbar lock, angle lock, armbar lock. Kurt wants to know to be tested to Ronda. He wanted to talk to the Ronda about last week ago for spoken as he can. I feel like Ronda wanted to get wins like 4 years since about armbar like for Stephanie McMahon's making her tap outs and mixed tag team match at WrestleMania 34 for the last 4 years in the 2018. She was kind to be her focusing about for the characters and studies and social administration talent showdowns. I think I wanted to mention for the Vince McMahon was the chairman of the board as a board of director on talent relations, as the secretary of the states, health sports medicines, chief operating officers, chief executive officers, and the vice president is doing about the senior management and one of the things is supporter manager for talent relation and the general manager. So people power as John Laurinaitis from the Raw Power from Teddy Long to confrontation to each other's. I don't so Ronda I don't think Ronda doesn't mention about John Laurinaitis to the people power about 2012. But I think I took him down for the things about concerns. Woefully, I saw about for the waste of that time. I just got it about the real answers. So Ronda doesn't know what we're talking about John Laurinaitis as a former general manager of talent relation at Monday Night Raw and Smackdown, and including for mention for the NXT, Mr. William Regal, her former general manager. She was released from 2 years ago. Says we don't know that. Her opportunistics in all times. I just felt like to be her most acceptable for Ronda's acceptance to the wins for successfully for the against Charlotte Flair very hard than the legendary or mythicals. However she can do about for fortunately she could take baby that she's gonna be the new baby for baby championship, and her SmackDown Women's Championship wanted to see by Lakia. Lakia wants to see it for a new SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda's daughters wanted to see it about the new SmackDown Women's Championships after she walks out from SmackDown Women's Championship for Bianca Belair's. At same times to be definitely to see about her winning of the first Royal Rumble of a class Royal Rumble of 2 months ago, 2022. Even the Bianca Belair for the last month. She was show wisely and bravest and strongest and heroics. Bianca and Ronda does make it a sense or win or lose over WrestleMania. But I think both Bianca and Ronda would be win for Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair for one time, and Ronda would be the one time too about SmackDown Women's Champions. Even the Becky and Charlotte will be lose about for WrestleMania. She was leaving to the arena for the AT&T Stadium. Excuse me. So for right now, I just felt like to be. It kind of like to be the different wrestlers and all time and different wrestlers all days along during the everyday. From Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and Thursdays to Friday, even though the Monday through Friday at Pro Wrestling Entertainment for Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Impact, and Rampage to SmackDown. It was a so no unconsciousness. It could be about not allowed to be when. So even the talent says Ronda does not allow to lose to Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania. So I don't think so. So Talent Showdown says Ronda Rousey doesn't like to be losing to Charlotte Flair as to the titles, and Bianca Belair doesn't like to be losing to Becky Lynch at the Raw Women's titles. Even though during this brand new switching champions as the WWE officials as a former wrestler, Sonya Deville was a company of Becky Lynch Smackdown Women's titles to replacing Charlotte Flair's as a Raw Women's titles as it related to for the process. Who orders the entertainment is usually about her job opportunistics before during the too much talent and showdowns. And I was also she was a kind of like to be overheated for Charlotte Flair. She was kind of like to definitely to see it's about her baby. She was not like to get a child. So Charlotte doesn't have anything a child yet. Before she Andrade, she also the former WWE superstars. So Andrade want to be go for the wedding. Andrade wants to Charlotte to have a child next year. It looks like I think so. She was just being kind of like to be her wrestlers to be strongest, the fighters and bravest and wisest and heroicism. She forgets about the mighty heroes and the WWE to SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania for the first time ever. But some people know doesn't fail. Some people know woman's losing doesn't fail. They have no idea since about 70,000 people tours gatherings around for the AT&T stadiums, either those just pin or submission or figure eight lock or mostly painful or kind of like to be the rampages against Charlotte Flair's. I was gonna think I was that one to be about her ring nature due to about game simulations is usually about NBA's, NFL, and NBA, including Patrov and NCAA as the director for the students that brought you in. Then once the WWE says, so once they have the board of directors wants you to know about what was happening today, it's not getting involved. So wherever they came from, so that athletics was brought you in about NCAA and Patrov Network, MLB, NBA, and NFL, and including the director of UFC, including in the director of for the Olympic judos, UFCs and Olympics and runners and bikers and triathlons and the Ironman marathon about 30 minutes. Well, but I guess we were thinking about who wins about night one, about Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura will be Rick and Shinsuke will defeat Jimmy and Jay the Usos as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and Dominic Ray, the Mysterios could have about win against defeats The Miz and the YouTube channels, Logan Paul, and it's kind of like mostly I understand the both sayings. I might gonna say I'm sure about the confusable a lot of people were thinking about her opponents is used about Stone Cold Steve Austin as the stunners during the Kevin Owens shows. And even the Seth Rollins could be faced with opponents could be about Cody Rhodes or Shane McMahon. So Let's talk. So Mr. Vince McMahon says, let's say we talked about two opponents today, who he is, and we're just gonna say who's gonna be the opponent for this night. Um, so I basically so wisely I would agreed. So I don't know making a sense about who says opponents that are about the opportunistics. It could be about the Cody or Shane or Goldberg. I'm thinking that maybe not. So I saw Cody was for former AEW just doing about successful by the WWE was the victory. Her parted ways about 3 years ago from 2019. She, he and his wife Brandy was hit different kinds to be for the different wrestlers and for the Rose Dusty Rose Classic Tag Team Champions. Excuse me. I surely have it what we did about her match cards about Tag Team Champion match with cards and mixed her channelization and main event part one before Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch at the One Women's title match and main event part one. And Ronda and Charlotte are main event and the Smackdown titles champions. It could be about very, very hard to the mythical or the legendary or maybe fabled. So basically, night two is could be about the Unification Championship, winner takes all. That could be one of the WWE Champions and Universal Championship. So Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and who can win those ones? Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar? So I've been definitely say Brock Lesnar will be take calls about the Lesnar belts. It could be Mr. Brock titles, Mr. Brock belts. It could be hard about her reigning or defending undisputed Universal Championship as the facing the tribal chief Roman Reigns is. I just feel like to be uncomfortable about the night ones, the night twos, and about the Sunday night during the weekend. I just wanted to actually we're just doing my the best job is that this one to the programming as about Wrestlemania night 1 and 2 during the showdowns about Saturday and Sunday during the those weekends at about Monday through Friday for wrestlers as pay-per-views is about the explanation points for everything goes as a right during the to continue to the COVID-19 wars as 2 years in the virus. I believe that people could have about Fatal 4-Way WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. She was kind of like to be Team Bad reunions as Sasha Banks, the Naomi, Liv Brutality, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, the Queen of Spades and the Hearts, Shayna Baszler, and Natalia, and Queen Selena and Carmella amongst the same 8 women under the ringside outside for the recorded history. I was kind of like to be so confusable situations. I just wanted to say we just wanted the blessing of all those guys, and those are the fall of the heart under the communications or in the miscommunications. If we wanted to fall up there from the heavens, though who went up there who went up they rise up in the heavens. So Ronda would be blessed from the Lord God. Ronda would be blessed from God. God bless her. God bless for Ronda. She will be win very hard against Ronda, against Charlotte Flair or not. So she'll be the opponent. And that's where referee's gonna look at it for ring ropes. Ring ropes under the foot should be illegal. Alright guys, so this is Q&A. This is about Q&A 4. So today is my last day of Q&A series. I just feel like and wanted to say goodbye to about 6 years and about the Q&A series since about 2016, and this year's is 2022. It is sad to say goodbye to about the real opportunity. So my last days of the QA is about, that'll be the Monday. That'll be the Friday. It's okay. Oh, I just wanted to make sure to my last day. My last day is the QA series will be about Friday 8th. That should be okay with that. About 6 years about the QA series. All right, guys. That's a long story. It's about stipulation road to the Wrestlemania. This is gonna be ready for now. The wait is over. That could be about 3 months ago. 3 hours later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you all. Happy New Year's, 2022. Don't forget to hit the subscribe for more contests. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google Finds, Cameras, Kaka Talk, and Kaka Stories, and most of them is subscribes on for the Hunter Call for the Wild, and it's mostly about expansive worlds, Jackson Beard, Ron Tubes, Flinters, DD33, the Lone Gamers, Scarecrows, Risky, and Laggy DK, and including Lady Legend XOs and Shirley Jesters. And don't forget to subscribe on Silly Super Pop and WWE and Raw and Smackdown and the Rebella Twins. Thank you very much for coming, guys. So I will see you guys about probably Friday 8th. Alright. I just wanted to make sure to don't forget to the subscribe to my contest of Friday. Alright guys. It's good to see you all. Don't forget. Keep your rich, mateys. Good luck out there for the watch of Wrestlemania. Night 1 to 2. Good luck.